Let's see if this is working. Let's see if this is working. Take two. We got it. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna come, it's gonna come. Yes, she did. Yes, she is. We did. Oh, Take two. I'm gonna just do it like this. I'm gonna just bring it on in. How we gonna do it? My name is Cosandra Calloway. They call me the hostess with the mostest. What is that? What is that? I don't know. And now everything wants to play now, right? I'm just like, hold on. Stop. Okay, I'm gonna get this. We're gonna have a show today. It's gonna be awesome because you know what? God is good. He is all good. So what we're gonna do is I am going to bring in our guest, Miss Kelly. Yes, I did. I sent the link to everybody. So I'm gonna hit this on Twitter real quick. Tweet that out so we can make sure we have all the guests possible in the house for today's show. Let's make that happen. Okay, it's Cosandra Calloway. Let's do this. Let's give us a little jazz music in the background because the smooth sounds we're hearing is jazz soloist doing Motown, and I am going to bring in Miss Rae'Ven in a second. As I was saying earlier, you've seen Rae'Ven Kelly, Rae'Ven Larrymore Kelly, Time to Kill. She played at 8 years old, little Tina Turner, and she has had an experience recently that we've been watching and we've been seeing on the news, this blatant disrespect that some police officers have for individuals, especially when they're following the law. So Rae'Ven had the opportunity or the misfortune of having to deal with the Pasadena Police Department immediately after paying her fare. So in a few, we're going to welcome Miss Rae'Ven Larrymore and this treatment that she went through. This is one of my friends that has been mistreated by the police. And welcome, Rae'Ven. How are you?
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm so blessed to be here on your fabulous show, Miss Cosandra. Thank you so much for having me. You're a dear friend in the media, and I really appreciate what you're doing for this movement. I wish I was here for happier reasons, but I just want to say that I'm very blessed to be here. And hello, all my fans from Time to Kill in Montana and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Hello. I went through a very, very traumatizing experience with LA County Sheriff's Department. And it was a horrific experience. And I was brutalized, I was beaten, I was handcuffed, I was bruised so badly that I had to be taken to the emergency room.
Well, let's start from the beginning, Rae'Ven. You're at the train station in Pasadena, and what happens?
Yes, actually, I boarded the train in Pasadena Lake Avenue Station there at the Gold Line. I boarded the train. I was headed towards Union Station to meet up with family friends. I was babysitting so that their parents could have a date night. One of my play cousins in the town, and got on the train. had my timestamp at 5:24 p.m. on my receipt, went to the turnstile. I kept tapping. There's like a card that you use. I kept tapping the card several times, and the turnstile wouldn't go up. So I had my receipt. I had paid not one, but two fares. I then proceeded to get onto the train. The train was there, got on, and then an officer came up to me, an African-American officer, Officer King, approached me. And he approached not just me, but everyone. He came on the train to check if everyone had paid their fares. And then once he came up to me, I just showed him my card and my receipt. And he said, okay, you're fine, you're good. And he checked my card and he says, for some reason it didn't tap. I said, yeah, the turnstile wasn't working. He says, yeah, that happens sometimes. Don't worry about it. You know, he said, there's always technical difficulties. He said, at the next stop, just get off. I'm going to hold the door open for you. And he's like, and you can go tap it and I'll let you back on. And I said, okay, great. I said, because I'm in a hurry. I'm supposed to babysit, you know, some cousins tonight. I said, so I really appreciate it. I'm giving their parents a little date night. And he said, okay, no problem. So everything was fine. So right then, I was going to get off at the next stop. Right then, an officer came up to me, a Caucasian officer, Officer Hayhurst, came up to me. And he said, what seems to be the problem here? And he said, oh, no, there's no problem. She's just going to need to go off and tap her card. There's this whole issue. He explained the issue to the officer. Officer King explained to him. And he said, oh, no. She doesn't have a fare. I'm going to get a ticket. And I said, I'm getting a ticket? Why, officer? I said, I paid my fare, sir. I said, I'm very compliant. I said, the officer already told me, no, get out your ID right now. And I said, okay, officer, I have paid my fare. The officer here is asking me to step out and tap it. I'm going to do that. And I said, and he said, it doesn't matter. You're getting a ticket anyway. And he starts to write a ticket. And I said, okay. And I said, I took out my camera. I started videotaping. And I said, today is November 14th. I'm videotaping my receipt here. I showed witnesses on the train. I pulled out my camera. I got his badge and his face and the other officer's badge and his face. And he said, that's okay. You can videotape all you want. It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. You can videotape all you want. And I said, officer, I'm being compliant and respectful, sir. Why are you doing this? And so then he says, that's it. He says, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and give you the ticket right now. And then the other officer says to me, well, we already decided that she was gonna, pay her fare. And I said, yeah, I already paid. I need to go tap the card. And he said, oh, well, that's it. You're just gonna. I said, that's what we were trying to explain to you all. I thought the situation had been de-escalated. Mm-hmm. Now the African-American officer King and myself had explained to him that we stated again for the third time to him that I had paid my fare and was going to go tap the card. He said to me, okay, not a problem at all. I said, I just asked, please, officer, hold the door so I can tap it and put back on. There was a technical difficulty at the original station, and the other officer verified all this with me. I said, okay, no problem. I said, I just am in a hurry to get to these kids. And he said, okay, not a problem. I said, thank you so much. I'm there. I've got my Gucci bag. I've got my little tote bag, the little toys for the kids. And I run off the train really quick. I tap my card. As I'm turning around to run back on the train, the Caucasian officer, Officer Hayhurst, steps out of the doorway of the train. And it was as the doors were slamming behind him with a sinister grin on his face, like, give me your ID. And I'm like, officer, the train. And the doors closed behind him. Right then, from the back door, the African-American officer, Officer King, stepped out of the back door. And Officer Hayhurst, the Caucasian officer, approached me and said, give me your ID right now. And I said, officer, why? You just told me you would hold the door for me. The train's gone. And the train went right then. We were at the South Pasadena stop at that point. And this was a Friday evening. The door slammed shut. He came up to me, and the third time he asked me, he says, give me your ID. This is the third time. And I said to him, I was like, what's going on? He says, you're being arrested. That's it. He asked me for my ID 2 times, and then the third time he went around, took my purse off my shoulder, and they threw me up against the bars, the metal bars there. Next thing I know, 2 other officers come from both sides of me. I'm now surrounded by 6 officers. Okay, they handcuffed me. they were handcuffing me, I'm pressing dial on my cell phone to my husband, who later on at the station, they were shocked to see, obviously, that my husband is of Italian and Irish descent. And that was a whole nother situation. My fiance, he was my fiance at the time, he was a witness to everything. I had already called him. The Lord had me to call him on my cell phone. And my husband, Sean, my then fiance, he heard everything that went on. He heard them brutalize me. He heard them body slam me. And I was in handcuffs. They had the handcuffs digging so deep into my skin. I mean, you know, black folks, you see, you know, I'm that dark chocolate, okay? For me to be bruised to the point where I am black and blue, purple in my skin, all on my wrist and my shoulder, I had to have gone through a serious ordeal. So that is what happened at the station. There were no witnesses around at that time when they took me off.
That's why they let the train go. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Right. Exactly. You're right, Miss Cosandra. Exactly. And so they took me off, brutalized me there. And there was even a Latino officer, Officer Vargas, that was there, a very young man who looked like he probably just got out of sheriff's academy or whatever. He was there and he was apologizing to me, shaking his head as he was doing this to me, because he himself knew that this was not right. Once they put me in the handcuffs immediately, I said, "Officer, please." I said, "I'll give you my ID. I'll give you my ID. I'll sign off on a ticket. It doesn't matter. I paid my fare." I'm pleading with him. I'm crying. I'm telling him I love my city. I would never, you know, I would never steal a fare. I mean, what's $1.75? You know what I'm saying? It's utterly ridiculous. And I had paid not one but two, so I had $3.50 on to my receipt, and I had my receipt there. And he said, "No, it's too late." I said, "Please let me give you my ID so you can give me the ticket and let me go." "No, it's too late for that. You had your chance. I already asked you twice." And I said, "You told me to get back on the train. You told me to tap and I could come back on the train." And he goes, "You know what? That's it. Go in her purse." So they dig through all my belongings and everything. Right then across the street, across on the other side of the train track, there were two middle school young boys, like maybe about 7th, 8th grade. And they appeared with skateboards. And I said, "Please, if you have a camera, videotape me how they're treating me." And they were scared. And the young man said that he didn't have a cell phone. And they were there. And they were just little boys, shocked at what was happening to me. Right then, he gets on the phone and he says, "You know what? I'm tired of all your crying and everything. You go on and on and on this." He's like, "You're being loud and boisterous. You know what? You can tell your fiance that you're going to jail, because you know what? We can't take you over to Pasadena. We're going to take you to La Crescenta because you require jail. Tell your fiance that." And I'm like, "You're taking me to jail?" He goes, "Yes." He says, "You're going to jail for resisting arrest." I said, "I didn't resist arrest, officer." I said, "I love my town." I said, "I'm a former school teacher." I honestly did not want to tell them that I was an actress, because honestly, Sandra, a lot of people, you know, in the entertainment industry, you know, people go, "You know who I am," the famous, like, "Do you know who I am? Do you know who you're dealing with?" At that point, I knew what I was dealing with, and I didn't feel like it mattered. It didn't matter if I was a homeless black woman on the street, if I was a billionaire, if I was, you know, if I was, you know, Oprah Winfrey. It doesn't matter who you are. You deserve. You're a human being. You're God's child. You deserve to be treated like a citizen properly. Everybody has rights, you know. And
Right.
I didn't want to go there with well, I was in A Time to Kill. Do you know I was in this movie? I was in, you know, Hannah Montana, and I was in Living Single, and Touched by an Angel. It doesn't matter all my credits and all those things. I'm a human being. I am a citizen of this city of Los Angeles and the county of Los Angeles. I deserve to be treated properly. So I didn't want to even go there with all of that, but I did tell him that I was a school teacher, and I started saying to him, I said, "I've worked in Santa Monica Malibu School District and LAUSD. I love my city." I said, "I've received several awards from the county, sir, and from the city." I said, there are council members, Councilman Tom LaBonge, Janice Khan, Congresswoman Maxine Waters, Bernard Parks, that can attest to my personality and my reputation and my good citizenship. I said, "I'm very respectful, sir." And as soon as I spouted off those four names, Next thing you know, he comes over to me and he goes, going ahead, release her handcuffs. So they come over and they kept them on me, but they took them from digging out of my skin. So now I couldn't feel my pulse any longer because they loosened them up on my arm. Mm-hmm. Because I, for city council and Congresswoman Maxine Waters and Councilwoman Hahn, they made them a little looser on me. And I said, wow, so they could have been looser all this time, but you made them tighter. And he's like, it doesn't matter right now. We already called the car, so it doesn't matter who you know. We're already taking you, and I already called the case. They proceed to throw me into the car. As they're taking me to the car, a middle-aged Caucasian couple and an elderly black woman are on the side of the street, and I'm yelling out to them. They're my only witnesses at this point, and I'm saying my full name, and I'm telling them, I'm Rae'Ven Kelly. Please, you're going to see this in the news. Please take note of this, that I'm being wrongfully accosted and arrested. I've been brutalized. You see, I've been beaten here. And I told my story, what happened. While they're trying to shush me up, they took my cell phone, so now I don't have Sean on the line anymore. And they're like, get her tap card, because they knew then that was my evidence that I had paid. They wanted to rid me of my evidence, okay? Mm-hmm. They never brought up the receipt ever again. And I didn't want to bring it up. While we were taking me into the car, I took the receipt and I had to hide it in my underwear. Because that was my only shred of evidence. That was my whole thing. So if they weren't bringing it up, I wasn't going to bring it up. And so then right away, the middle-aged Caucasian couple and the elderly black woman, they looked at me and they said, we're going to remember your name. And they were like, this is horrible. And they were reaching, the middle-aged white couple, they were reaching for their cell phone so that they could videotape it. But they pushed me in the car so fast that the injury was what was happening, because that couple knew what was wrong. As they put me in the car, they kept referring to me as the girl, and they said they called it on the loudspeaker. They said, yes, we have a black female here, 29-year-old black female. We have her here. And then the dispatch was a female. She said, I'm sorry, was that a female that you said? And he said, yeah. And the two officers turned each other and they high-fived. They said, what? Like, we can't get a female? Like, they get extra points or something for getting a black female.
Wow.
Like a sort of type of game. And they were laughing about it. And they said, we don't let anybody slip through the cracks, not even the black female. And they high-fived each other. One officer in front of me, like it was a game. I was a video game point. And I proceeded to cry in the car. And he said, if you shut up on crying, stop playing the martyr. No one feels sorry for you. You gave me your ID when I asked you the first time. I said, I didn't lie when I paid on it. From there, they took me to the station. The law person took me. Once I was there, I was taken into the jail cell there by a female officer, a petite Filipino officer, Officer Diaz, in there. And I got asked all these questions. If I was a prostitute, mind you, I'm dressed conservatively. Not that it would matter because we all deserve common decency. I'm dressed conservatively in black slack leggings. I have on a black sweater with jewels up here on my sleeves. I have, cute shoes on and my Gucci bag, and I'm looking like I'm just on a nice casual day. I'm not looking like I'm some type of prostitute or a gang, right, or anything at all. Okay, and she's asking me, do I have a history in prostitution? If I am a gang member, if I'm currently on crack, if I'm on crack cocaine, if I've used any recreational drugs, all of this, I'm being asked these questions. And I said, no, ma'am, I work with children. I said, I'm a role model. I'm a former school teacher for LAUSD in Santa Monica, Malibu School District. I said, I love my city. And she's like, wait a minute, I'm looking you up. You don't have any priors. And I said, no, I've never been. She said, she doesn't even have like so much as even a parking ticket. Like that. And she's like, you stupid. Why you end up here? She said, why you end up here? You stupid. Why you give your ID? when I was originally arrested. I have blood dripping down my legs because they wanted me to go to the bathroom. I wasn't allowed to go to the bathroom. I was on my cycle. I was denied products. Please, if you first, they give me my feminine products so I can go to the bathroom and clean myself up. No, you don't get your bag back. Yeah. Because the other officers, feminine products, you will keep it in your clean. I'm being very compliant with you. That I'm pleading for them to help me because I have blood dripping all down my legs. I said, this is for hygiene purposes. It's getting all over your feet. Please, no stuff. And she's like, I'll let you go to the bathroom now. Let me see you fell in the bathroom. Where the bathroom is, there's this metal toilet on the floor, filthy dirt. There's like bugs in the corner. And there's this dirty roll of toilet paper. And sorry.
No, take your time. We have to take your time because I'm gonna just let's stop you just so you can compose yourself right now. So that
I'm sorry, this is my first time talking about it, Miss Cosandra.
And it's
a lot to someone else, and it was really a horrific experience to be treated like an animal by officers that are supposed to protect us. And I love my county. I love Los Angeles. I love my city.
Yeah, it's unfair. So you know what we're gonna do? Why don't we want to take a quick break?
They denied me soap to wash my hands. They cursed at me. They called me the F. They called me NF. They called me the B word. And they had some dirty toilet paper on the floor. I just, as soon as I thought about the toilet paper, I remember how dirty the toilet paper was, and I asked for a clean paper towel roll. They wouldn't give me clean ones. And I asked for soap to wash my hands. And they didn't want to give me soap. And then finally, she slammed the door and she said, I'm sick and tired of your SHIT. She slammed the door on me. She gave me flavor and she threw a bar of soap at me. She goes, here, nobody thinks you're special. You're not a princess. And then I came back into the next cell. And the main big sheriff came in at that point, and he says to me, you don't have any priors. I'm thinking about, going ahead and letting you go. Okay, there's been a misunderstanding here. Just go on ahead and sign up on this. I know you were saying you were hurt, but you're not hurt. You're not bruised. I said, yes, I am. And I showed my wrist. My wrists were here. My wrists were all black and blue. Turning red at this point. Red, you can even see like my veins, okay? And officer even did it. They're gonna consider her like this because they're gonna see that in the hospital because they think I don't sign off on this and claim an injury. Then I said, I'm not a stupid officer. I didn't do that. You're not being without a liability. He's like, so, why don't you just turn off that you weren't hurt? There was a misunderstanding. Next time, if the officer asks you to anything the first time, you're supposed to take it down, okay? And I said, that was not what he told me. He told me to get off. And I explained the situation to him. And he's like, I said, I know I'm doing a phone call. Please, officer, please let me call my fiance. I then proceeded to call Sean, talk to him. He told me, okay, just sign your stuff so you can get released here. And he said, and I said, okay. He said, and I'm on my way to use Sean, my now husband. He was on set. And he was all the way out to San Diego with this guy. He's like, I'm on the road. I'm headed towards you here. I love you. I love you so much here. Don't worry. Right then, as soon as I hang up off the phone with them, they blackmailed me. Because when I got off the phone with my fiance, then they changed the story and said, well, technically, in order for us, we're not going to sign off on this paperwork because I'm armed. I said, oh, I thought this was just a release form. They said, oh, no, that's signing that you're releasing that our officer will harm you. I said, so look at me, I'm bruised. I said, I'm not going to sign off on that. I said, officer, I'm in you. I'm not a liar. he's like, well, see now, early, you're making my situation a little bit more difficult here. Now we're gonna have to take you to the hospital. If I take you to the hospital, you're gonna have to be an inmate. I have to book you. And I said, I didn't know that. I said, please let me call back and talk to my fiance, get my lawyer on the phone. He's like, you're only one phone call. So I sign off here. These are my options. Either I sign off that I wasn't injured and get released and lie, never harmed me, and release me, or option number 2, they would then book me because now they're giving me a record. So I can go to the hospital, so that they can take me to the hospital. So they book me because I'm shaking at this point. I'm like, who's up to the point? And then all my shoulders ache and everything. They had to give me different types of handcuffs because the handcuffs that they had me in were hurting my wrist. They had to give me what are called side cuffs on the side of my wrist. They waited a long time and said, well, we'll wait so we can take her in to the station and let her breathe. That was actually at that time. Officer Diaz, the female officer, she's talking to Officer King, that's the African American officer, and Officer Hayhurst, who escalated everything. And she's like, oh, how you doing? I want to share this bagel with you, this snack or whatever. And then Officer Hayhurst says to her, how come you're being so nice to him? And he goes, I've been working all night. He says, I've been working for 10 hours straight, no break. The officer keeps saying that he worked for 10 hours straight, said no break at all. And then Officer Hayhurst, this is the officer that accosted and brutalized me. He says, oh, I got you beat. I've been working for 14 hours straight. I haven't had a break and I haven't eaten in 14 hours. And I remember taking note of that in my head because I was thinking to myself, not taking up to him at all because he obviously had something against these people, as he referred to me as, and high-fived another white officer about, yeah, we got a black female, because that was awesome. Obviously, he had racial and sexist issues, gender issues against me. But the man was also overworked. This officer wasn't given his proper break. He hadn't eaten in 14 hours. You're dealing with someone who also is not their faculties aren't there. They're not making good judgment. You're dealing with an officer that already has racial and gender biases. But on top of that, he's also deserted himself from work. So he's not making good judgment calls. So I remember taking note of that in my head. From that point on, another officer came on to duty at the time, like a middle-aged Caucasian man. He didn't have his badge on, so I don't remember his name. And he goes, hey, I hear you're in here crying, sweetheart. He's like, you know what? He's like, it's free to be crying. He's like, come here. And I lifted up my head, and he said, are you okay? He said, what happened? I told him what happened. And he said, really? And he looked at the other officers. You're over $1.75. What in the world? He thought it was actually wrong. And he was like, you look familiar to me. Because you look so pretty, like you could be an actress or something. It's pretty to be going to cry. He goes, you ever been in any movies or something? And I said, yes. And he said, you look like you've been on the Disney Channel or something. What have you been on? And he said, well, maybe he's been on That's So Raven. Her name's Raven. And he goes, no, you were on something else. And I said, Kevin Montana. He got out and he said, hold on a second. What do you mean? Comes back, they're outside, they're Googling. I saw the officer Googling me on the phone. I heard them say A Time to Kill. I heard them say Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Next thing you know, everyone's calling me Miss Kelly. Bring me water at this point. I got offered water and a blanket. Okay? They took the handcuffs off of me at this point because they're going, oh crap, what do we do? They had already booked me and ordered other officers to come in to take me to the hospital. They did in handcuffs to USC Verdugo Hills Hospital. I'm taken to the hospital, and people are like in the waiting area. They've got kids in the emergency room, and they're like, "Ooh, this lady, pulling their kids in away because they think I'm a criminal. I'm in handcuffs. And then nurses started recognizing me in the hospital. That's the little girl from Preachers. That's the girl from Preacher's Kid. You know, that's the little kid. That's isn't that the girl from The Time to Kill? And by character defamation, now I'm being taken out in the public eye in handcuffs as a criminal. You know, the doctor with me saw my bruises and everything. I told him my story. The doctor was totally flabbergasted. He was talking what had happened to me. He apologized to me on behalf of the city and his race. I had a white doctor there. He apologized to me on behalf of white people that I had been in the situation. So from there, where we are now with it was at the time when that happened, they took me back to the station. About an hour or so later, my fiance finally arrives from San Diego. He's been driving all that stuff. They release me. I go home, and I am just like, I'm bruised. I go to my own doctor. I get my own x-rays. X-rays reveal that I have had minute fractures in my wrist. I had been all my muscle tissues like all messed up. And I had gotten an attorney. So throughout all the process, we had to then deal with, on top of that, some people may know this already in the media because it's public record, but I recently found out that my parents stole all of my earnings from all of my childhood life as an actor. We're talking about over millions of dollars. And so I just found out all of that. And in addition to this, and have been dealing with a case with them and wondering or not whether I was going to file or not. I'm dealing with both attorneys for that issue and this. I was very broken at that time because you're dealing with someone who, my mother, many people saw me grow up in this industry. You never saw me without my mom.
Yeah.
In my heart, she was not only my manager and my acting coach, but she was my best friend. So to find out that your mama, your mother, who is supposed to be the person God puts in charge, your parents, your mother, your father, the person that God deems to protect you, that they were the very people I needed protection from. They were defaming my character and my husband's character, and they had stolen millions of dollars from me and forged signatures for years. I never received any initial payments on anything in my career. I found out all of this. They lied to me, saving up stuff. They ruined my credit. They took out student loans. Why would you take out $10,000 worth of student loans when your child is getting checks every week between $3,000 and $4,000? It doesn't make any sense. So I'm finding out all of this while I'm dealing with this case of racial and gender bias, sensitivity, all of this. I'm dealing with that at the same time. I couldn't take any more of it. So at that point, my attorneys and I were just like, you know what? We just want to make sure that all the criminal charges are released off of me. They charged me with 3 things from the case. Number 1, it was failure to pay my fare. Not 1, but 2 fares and had a receipt. Second charge was being loud and boisterous. That was because I was crying and telling them that I loved my county and city of Los Angeles. So that's what being loud and boisterous is, crying and praying to Jesus and telling them that I love my city. And the third charge was resisting arrest. I was facing criminal charges. I could end up in jail. My attorney was telling me we went to trial with it, and crazy, I could go to jail for 2 years. This is what I was facing with those charges. So because of what I was dealing with financially and not having any funds and finding out, I'm like, okay, well, let me go to SAG and go get my money, and I can get an attorney. We can fight and go to trial. I couldn't even afford to get an attorney. So I even went to my parents and asked them to help me and give me money so I could afford an attorney because of this situation, how I was wrongfully profiled and brutalized. They are the most ungodly people. That's painful for me to say this, but this is How do you just abandon your child like that again? And so now, thank goodness for my lovely mother-in-law, Patricia Dinwiddie, and my husband, John, my then fiance, they paid for my attorney fees. They paid thousands of dollars to the victims relief fund and the county fees that had to be paid. They charge you all these additional fees because if you plead no contest, you can't go to trial. So we didn't want to risk all of that. So, and it was too much on me dealing with all of this with my court case with my parents. Mm-hmm. So we paid off all these fees and everything that they wanted me to pay. I was punished for. I was the one that was racially profiled, sexually felt up, referred to as these people, and that girl. You know how black folks are. Those type of comments. High five. Yeah, we got a black female. They didn't think we could do it, but we don't even let the black women slip through the cracks. I mean, the sinister evilness in their tone. And what happened? I get sentenced to pay thousands of dollars in fines. And we're not even including it my attorney fees. Also, they sentenced me to a year's worth of anger management classes. 52 classes, anger management classes, in which I have to pay.
Pay for
class I have to attend. I have to pay. I have to get signatures from my anger management facilitator after every single class. Tomorrow, ironically, and this is why people are saying, well, this happened to you November 14, 2014, Rae'Ven. Why are you just now coming out with this? Because tomorrow, baby, I am free. Tomorrow is my last class. Tomorrow is my 52nd class. It's my last class tomorrow. I've been going for 52 weeks. 52 weeks. I am reminded, so it's almost like every time I get to like Thursday or Friday of the week, I start feeling like, okay, I'm good. The situation is behind me. I put it away. And then Saturday rolls around. Every Saturday rolls around, and I realize tomorrow I'm going to be a criminal again. Tomorrow, I'm a black woman that nobody cares about. Tomorrow, I'm just the N-word that nobody cares about. And tomorrow, I'm free. Tomorrow, I'm free, Miss Cosandra. Tomorrow at 2 o'clock, I will be free. Because it's my last class. It's my last class. And I just look back at what happened to Mr. Philando. Sandra Bland. And Tamir Rice, that poor baby, Tamir Rice, he's only 20 years old. And I look at Mr. Alton Sterling, a beautiful father. And Philando, they killed him in a car with that baby in the back seat, that poor little girl. And I say to myself, I'm blessed to be here. I'm blessed to be alive because who's to know what would have happened to me if I hadn't said, I know Councilwoman Janice Hahn, if I hadn't said I hadn't gotten the key to the city of San Bernardino, if I hadn't said that LA Mayor Hahn requested me to sing on the steps of City Hall with Stevie Wonder year after year, me and Mr. Stevie Wonder singing on the steps of City Hall together. What if I didn't say those? What if I didn't name drop those names and Congresswoman Maxine Waters, Councilman Tom LaBonge? If I hadn't said those names, I could have been a Philando. I could have been a Sandra Bland. I could have been enough. A Tina Rice. I could have been enough. And Alton Sterling. And I wouldn't be talking to you right now. If that officer hadn't Googled me, if he didn't recognize me for TV, that's not fair.
It's not
fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. And it stops. It's tomorrow because I'm going to be free. I have my 52nd anger management class tomorrow, which, by the way, the facilitator for the classes, I've been there so long. I've been through 3 facilitators because they alternate them. How is it that all 3 of them, these are people that have their masters in psychology, in marriage family therapy, in sociology, people that have their masters and their doctorate. They have recommended to the judge every 3 months, their recommendation is to terminate my classes because I am an asset to the class. I'm in the same room with people that have picked up desks and thrown desks at their bosses at work. I'm sitting next to a girl in my class who she and her boyfriend had an altercation at a nightclub and she cut her boyfriend's face with a knife and he's bleeding.
And you're saying that you didn't pay, and they're saying that you didn't pay $1.75. You're sitting.
I'm sitting amongst people that have stabbed people. I'm sitting amongst people that have literally gone in and there was a girl that I was in my class. She went to a coffee bean late at night at 2:00 in the morning, and they didn't let her use the bathroom at a 24-hour coffee bean. She took her fist and punched the manager of the coffee bean until she had no front teeth. And guess how many she got? She got 26 weeks. Someone that punched somebody brutally in the face and knocked out all their front teeth has 26 weeks of anger management. Another gentleman in the class picked up a desk. He has anger issues and threw it at his boss in an office building. He kept his job and he got sentenced to 14 weeks of anger management. I was sentenced to 52 weeks, a whole year.
But do you think that they, it's about I feel because the story you're telling, and yes, you can Google the story, that people in chat room asking different information, different questions. And if you have any questions you want to come on to speak to Raven or myself, just put it in the chat room and I'll let you guys in. But it appears
to mention Miss Cosandra, my attorneys contacted LA County Sheriff's Department in La Crescenta by Pasadena. They contacted the city of Pasadena, the judges there, asking multiple times to retrieve my cell phone because my evidence was on it. They never would release my cell phone back to me with my footage. They never would give it back to me.
So you don't even have it now?
Right. No, they took it in and then they destroyed my cell phone. They destroyed my cell phone. How you like that?
So what did they say to that? Did they have to replace it? Did they was there some kind of report? So now on top of the fines and all of the fines you have to pay for going to court, the fines you have to pay for going to this class, now that they've taken your property, they've taken your dignity, now the gentleman, the officer, the first police officer that, I don't want to say started this, but was the cause of the catalyst of all of this, where was he?
Officer Hayhurst.
No, that's the one who was assaulted. No, I'm talking about the black cop, the first cop.
Officer King.
Officer King, yes.
He never appeared in court. When we went to court, neither officers were present. There was a prosecutor on behalf of LA County Sheriff's Department that was there. Mm-hmm. And the officers never came to court. It was all pre-trial.
So, because at this point you had decided by the time I got to pretrial, you were at a point of where you guys made an agreement to plead no contest.
Right.
And the reason
I was going through, I didn't. But
I understand.
I had gone through so much. I lost my parents because my parents had abandoned me at the time because I found out what they had done, and I wanted to fix our relationship and get counseling. I begged my parents to even pick a pastor of their choosing to help mend our relationship. Mm-hmm. And they just kept ignoring me. And they wouldn't give me funds so I could afford the right to go to trial with the case and everything. I was going through a lot. I was very broken, Miss Cosandra, at that time. I'm older now, but I was a mess. I had to go into counseling. I had to take antidepressants. It was a lot. It's been a whole process. I'm someone who's never been on medication in my life. I'm a person that's been a role model to people, young people going out speaking, helping children in LA County reduce recidivism, helping young people reduce teen pregnancy, teaching them about abstinence and safe sex and applying to colleges and nonviolence.
putting young people to work, telling them to get summer jobs and do internships and take an interest in their academics. This is who I am. I've set a precedent for young people to be a catalyst for change in their communities. In our Black and Latino communities, we need that. We need that in all of our communities, our white communities, our Asian communities. I'm someone who, I grew up in the South. I grew up being the only little African-American girl going to an all-white, prep school in Atlanta, Georgia, going to the high school across the street from the governor's mansion, attending all these reputable schools across Los Angeles. I grew up in those circles of Hillcrest Christian School and Cresby and Chaminade and Harvard Westlake. And I'm someone who I've always been taught the proper way to respect police officers. I'm the girl, and this is the irony of the situation, Miss Cosandra. I'm the girl that, it's so ironic because I'm the girl that used to be the person whenever I would see anyone in the news and they'd be like, it was because I pulling the quote unquote race card. Oh, it was because I'm a Latina. It's because I'm a Black person. It's because I'm a Middle Eastern man. It's because I'm a Black woman and all of this type of stuff. I'm going, okay, but our officers have a job to do. What did you do? What did you do? Did you use profanity with the officer? Okay, did you raise your voice? When the officer asked you to raise your hands, did you not raise your hands? Were you being smart with the officer? Were you talking back? Were you not compliant? Are you being disrespectful? Are you doing something illegal? I'm always that person that's like, you know what? Right is right and wrong is wrong. I don't care what color you are. Okay? I've always been that person. But I was in a situation, there I was being in the situation as I never used profanity. The officer asked me to step out, tap my card, pay my fare. After I paid, I had paid twice, and then I went and tapped. I was compliant. I did everything I was supposed to do. I never raised my voice. I'm calling them officer and sir, and it didn't matter. All that mattered was this. This is what mattered. The melanin level in my skin, that's what mattered, that I was Black. That's all that mattered. It didn't matter that I was valedictorian of my high school class. It didn't matter that I went to UCLA and was the vice president of scholarship, that I was the vice president of Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. It didn't matter about me working with the Audrey Hepburn Foundation and the Pediatric AIDS Foundation. It didn't matter. None of that mattered. All that mattered was that I was a Black woman that felt free enough to videotape her receipt that she had paid her fare and to videotape officers and their badges. How dare I be an uppity Negro?
It's ironic because last week I made a statement that said that the Constitution and Amendment, those things were written in 1776. Prior to when we were, and I'm actually going to play a clip from Roland Martin. Roland Martin broke it down on the Wendy Williams show that technically we haven't been free African Americans, Negroes since 1970.
Yes.
So it is. So my question is, does it behoove us to think that we're supposed to, because we're humans and you drug us over here, so and you wrote on the dotted line that we're free now, but we can't act like we're free. I've heard some people say, we let you. What do you mean you let us? And it's 2016, and to think that, my family's from St. George, South Carolina. I've seen the doors that said Black and white. I was born in 63. So if I was born in 63, hold on, probably it's 1970. Let me see how many years and I'm thinking that I have freedom. I have freedom to do this show and bring you on and to talk about subjects that interest people. But
right.
When you have it stated that the officers in blue, guys, remember, police officers were, before they became civil servants, they got paid. And that means they determined which calls they went on based on how much money they were making per call. So now these are individuals for an organization of I don't want to call them thugs, police officers, because they're all not thugs. No. But when it started off, they were getting paid for this job and they were able to pick and choose which ones they wanted to do. Once they became civil servants under the government, the law, whatever the technicalities of all that is, and I don't know off the top of my head, but if someone does know, please put in the chat room or call us. That then they had no choice, that they had to go to these, but the climate had already been established from the very beginning, because here's a call about a robbery, and these people and the robbery is going to be $250. But here's a call about somebody that is standing outside and loitering in front of that's only going to be $25. So they're going to go to the robbery. So the mentality of getting paid for their job has been inbred in them from the beginning, even though I don't know how many years there haven't been, they've been civil servants, going from prioritizing it as privacy, like these companies where they, security companies, it was almost like that, a privatized security company before they became civil servants. And so I don't understand it, because it just seems like every cop got the same training, or every cop has the same outlook and then did you become police officers so that you can then beat us up because of the color of our skin, or take away our human rights, the right to freedom of speech.
And here's the thing. I used to feel, there's this feeling that you get, it's almost like when you're a child and maybe you're in the pool and there's a lifeguard nearby, and maybe there's a bunch of kids in the pool and everybody's splashing, and you feel yourself sinking, but you see that lifeguard there, so you feel safer. Or maybe you get lost as a little kid, and then you finally find someone that can announce your name on the loudspeaker so you can help find mommy and daddy. You get to that safe feeling inside, that warm and fuzzy feeling of hope. I've always been a person that over the years, if I was in any sort of situation, if I was in a car accident or anything like that at all, I was always like, oh, thank goodness there's police nearby. Ooh, praise the Lord, there's police. Oh my goodness. That's me. I've always been that person. The police for me was a sigh of relief, a hope, justice, light, happiness. I've always equated the police with happiness. I'm someone that, even as a young cheerleader at my school, we would do fundraisers and bake sales, for the local police at my Christian private school, Hillcrest. I love the police. So now it's sad, but now after this had happened to me, I always am. These are a question mark to me. I cringe sometimes, and it's something that hurts me, because I don't want to be that type of person. But after what happened to me, how can you blame me?
That inbred fear. It's a fear that comes along when you see a cop call a police officer, and it's not supposed to be that way.
And I have officers in my family, Miss Cosandra, and I support our officers. I support them. When I found out about what happened in Dallas, I cried just as much. Because there's many, and I just want to tell my people, please don't go out there and make it. We cannot be fire with fire. The only way to kill hatred, as Dr. King said, was with love. Mm-hmm. You gotta love your enemies. I know it's hard, but you gotta love, because we have to have respect for those good officers that are out there. We have to give good appreciation. Yes, there are some crooked cops. I'm the first person to tell you that. But there's loving and evil people of every race. There's evil and loving Black people. There's evil and loving white people. There's evil and loving Asians. There's evil and loving Middle Easterns, and evil and loving Latinos. And guess what? There's evil and loving officers. And hashtag Black Lives Matter needs to trend just like hashtag Officers Lives Matter. We have beautiful officers of every hue that are risking their lives out there. Black, white, Asian, Middle Eastern, Latino officers that are our advocates, that are speaking up. And I just think that we cannot go out there just having people, and I know what they're trying to do, this whole vigilante thing and seeking justice, and I get it. I understand they're hurt. They're broken inside. I'm hurt. I'm broken too. I understand. I feel you. But we have officers out there that are good, and they don't deserve to get a bullet by mistake. because they are the good ones.
Mm-hmm.
We can't. Those are the ones that are gonna stop, and they are gonna care about a baby like Tamir Rice.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that are gonna just stop and pull over Sandra Bland and ask her for her ID and her license and registration and wish her a happy day and send her on her way.
Mm-hmm. And let her smoke her cigarette.
And let her smoke her cigarette in her car. They're gonna see me on the train, and they're gonna see that I have a receipt for my fare, and they're gonna say, okay, no problem. Like the Black Officer King, let me go tap and get back on, no problem. But then you have the officers like Officer Hayhurst, who, with the LA County Sheriff's Department, who had it in for Black women that evening.
Can I ask you a question? Has any disciplinary actions have happened?
My attorney and we wanted to wait until all of my fees were paid and all of my anger management was completed. We paid my fees long ago. And tomorrow is my 52nd session of my anger management class. And I've been basically like a help to the class. My facilitators are phenomenal. And they're like, we don't even understand why you're here. You're such calm. You're a great asset to the class. Sometimes when they can't reach people in the class because they have such heightened anger issues, I have to intercede and help them sometimes and say, okay, and pose certain examples to them so that the people can get it better. And they're like, thank you, Rae'Ven, for that. They think I'm a great asset to the class. And I'm a very loving person, Ms. Cosandra. You know that about me.
Can I ask you this question? You said that every 3 months they stop.
I do want to tell you this. We are going to, this week coming up, this Monday, I am meeting up with my attorney to have disciplinary papers filed against Officer Hayhurst to have it on his record. And then I will be seeking to have a protest. On July 30th is my court date. So I ask anybody in the Los Angeles area, please come forward and come to Pasadena Courthouse, July 30th. I am going to have a protest there to have my record clean of all charges, because this is not fair that I end up with a charge. It's not fair. The criminal charges are lifted, but we still have a misdemeanor there. And I'm someone who works with children. I'm a public official. I'm a representative for children. I go and speak at schools. I'm a public speaker. I'm an advocate. I'm a panelist. I'm someone that's been a panelist with Tavis Smiley as a moderator. I've been a panelist several times with Dr. Gail Wyatt from UCLA, with major congressmen for CNN. I've been a CNN panelist, C-SPAN, MSNBC. I can't afford to have a misdemeanor there. So I am asking everyone to come out to fight for the right for me to be expunged of these charges.
Okay, first, what time is that on July 30th?
July 30th, I can have my attorney get in contact with you. I believe it will be 9:30 a.m. But I can have my attorney get in contact with you to give you further details.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna make sure I'm there, and I'm gonna be taking the train, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna make sure I have a copy of the receipt on my forehead before I head up into Pasadena. But you said that every 3 months they would sign off saying that you should just be done.
Yes.
What did the judge say? The judge was saying no. Just make you stay. Like, how did that happen? Why would that? Why if the facilitator
has not learned her lesson? I want to make sure that she learns her lesson.
So the judge in Hayward. So it could because it seems like the punishment was too harsh. The punishment was too harsh for the crime. So it's like almost like the cat who got 3 months for rape.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like so we're gonna teach you. This is
our system. This is our judicial system right now. We are living in America, and I'm writing a letter to. I already have it ready. I'm writing a letter to First Lady and to our wonderful President Obama. I'm gonna give them all the details of my case and tell them why is it that we're living in an America today where we have people, as you stated, that are raping women and they get a slap on the wrist, and in 3 months they're released. And I paid my fare. I have a receipt. I am a respectful citizen with a reputable reputation, who loves my county, who is respectful, who never used profanity, never raised her voice, was completely compliant with officers, and I had to pay thousands of dollars in fines, and I was sentenced to a year of anger management classes that I had to pay for every session.
And they didn't want to, and every 3 months you could have got out, but she didn't learn her lesson.
Right.
Now, I have some people who are watching this show that can't come to Pasadena. Is there a way we could do an online protest to help you out?
I would love to do an online petition. Yes, if you could facilitate that, that would be a blessing.
Okay, we'll definitely figure that out, Miss Terry. We'll figure out how to make it happen, because first of all, the first time we met on the red carpet at a couple of years ago was I was doing wasn't that scam?
BET.
Oh yeah, that was a bad dress, but we were you walking up in there. Now wait a minute, now you're walking up there with crowns on and stuff. Well, you got
birthday. It was a birthday crown. I had a birthday sash for my god sister and my fiance. Yes.
I just realized, like, hey, what is that thing poking in the thing? So that's why you were wearing the crown and the sash, because I thought I was the red carpet diva, but then you rolled up
You always are, Miss Cassandra. You always step correct with that fabulous train on your gowns that you're famous for. Of course.
And if you don't stop calling me Miss Cosandra, you ain't gonna never be on this show again, making me this. I was trying to figure out how I was gonna throw that in there, but don't make me cut you with a tap.
Diva now. We all know with your fabulous earrings and your couture gowns, darling.
Thank you very much, Inzoni, and all the other, and anybody else wants to sponsor us, thank you. You type Miss Cosandra up in that chat room one more time, Terry. I'm coming for you. My co-host, and they're up in there messing with me. But I want to, before we go back, can you tell some exciting news? What have you been working on? What other exciting things have you got going on?
On the upside of things, this is a wonderful project that I'm excited to launch. I'm excited to launch a new project called Fly, and we just got Tatiana Ali on board. She's going to star and head up the series with myself, and Ella Joyce will be playing my mother. And we have Marla Gibbs involved with our project, and the wonderful, the fabulous TV icon. You all remember her as Florence on the Jeffersons in 227. She's in Scandal. Marla Gibbs. She's my G-Ma. Love you,
That's
G-Ma.
girl.
And the fabulous television vixen Morgan Fairchild in our series that we're doing. It's
can I group you out? Can I come to the set once, please? Please?
Are you kidding me? You can come to the set as much as you like, dear.
I love Morgan Fairchild. Did I say that?
But it's a series. It's inspired by the first all-black, all-female flight crew. So we're going to make history with this show. As you all know, the first black television series comedy to be aired on television. We had Diane Carroll with her show years ago. She's the first black woman to lead up a cast, but the first 4 black women to have their own series sitcom with Yvette Lee Bowser back in the 90s was Living Single. We will be the first all 4 black-led cast for a drama series on television, and also the first Black history inspired television series ever on the history of television led by women. So we're in history with this. So
I think you need me as the warm-up person in the audience. That's what I think. I think you need. I need to push. I DJ. I think I need to be the warm-up person in the audience. You need a warm-up person for your cat. I'm cold.
The show's going to be fabulous. The show is going to be fabulous, Cassandra. You are going to love it, because let me tell you, it's basically how we pitch it is basically it is Empire meets Dallas, Sex in the City dipped in chocolate and put in the sky. I mean, there's so many twists and turns. We deal with so many themes of international terrorism and drug trafficking within the aviation industry, and the plight of African American women within the aviation industry in the South. And our series takes place in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's a beautiful, beautiful way for us to pay homage to the 4 beautiful Black women who are fabulous. We have Captain Rochelle Kerr. We have the wonderful first officer, co-pilot officer Stephanie Brown Grant, and also Diana Calloway, and our wonderful Robin Rogers, who were the 4 women that flew into history. There was a Black female pilot, and we had 2 Black female flight attendants, and the co-pilot was a Caucasian male. Well, the night before the flight, he called into Delta sick, and his replacement just happened to be a Black woman. So it wasn't until these sisters were up in the air for a couple of minutes, they looked around and said, wait a minute, we're all females and we're all sisters. Has this ever been done before? And they flew into history on February 12th, 2009. So we've never had a contemporary Black history show like this ever on television. This is different because a lot of our Black history projects we've had have been
I'm tired of seeing us picking cotton. I'm tired of seeing us picking cotton. I'm tired of seeing us being slaves and beaten. I mean, I know that's a big part of our history, but I don't have to see it in every movie. Right. I want to see.
Nobody's fighting for the right to vote. Nobody's fighting for the right to vote in this piece, or fighting for the right to drink out of a water fountain or picking cotton or anything like that. Because and those stories are important. To tell our young people. But it's important for our young people. Black history is today. Currently, something that is amongst us fabulous role models. All of our whatever their gender is, to look up to. And that's what Fly is. It's a hot new project. It's sexy. It's edgy. It's historical. And it's created by myself. And I have a wonderful team. I have a wonderful writer in Carolyn McDonald, and my wonderful producing partner and husband, Sean Dinwiddie. And
where's Sean at? Tell Sean, because she got a cute husband. Let me tell you. Stop stick his head up in there. I know he over there.
Come on.
He's not camera ready? He's not camera ready. Sean, you're always supposed to be camera ready.
Busy over here. He's actually on the line right now with a network. So, but
okay.
next time you'll have both of us on. We can tell you about our production company. Our new production company is Everlasting Entertainment, and we're different from any other production company that you've ever seen in Hollywood because we only produce projects that's plays, music, theater, television, film, media web. We only do projects where there has to be at least one person behind and in front of the camera that is a former child actor or second generation Hollywood. It's never been done before. And this is Everlasting Entertainment. This is our production company. So
okay, can I just ask you a quick question on that? Because you said, okay, now you said this is for either have been in front or behind the camera. Right. Now, are you going to have a little pocket in there for individuals that might not have been but have the interest? Because wait, let me finish. Because these kids who are in front, they have that because they have family members that were in it. They have that leg up. But then we have some individuals who don't, but they might still want an
opportunity for that. I'm just saying with our production company, the template for it is there has to be at least one person. So there'd be basically the director would be a former child actor, and then there would be, maybe 1 or 2 actors in the piece that maybe are second or third generation Hollywood or former child actors. So you're going to watch our project, and it's going to be very exciting for people because they're going to be sitting there going, oh my goodness, look at all this new talent. But wait a minute, that's so-and-so from such and such TV show. Oh, that's so-and-so all grown up. Oh, that's such and such's daughter. So it's kind of creating this family aspect of Hollywood for all of us together, not just Black Hollywood, not just Latino Hollywood, white Hollywood, Asian Hollywood, all of us together. And it's never been done before. So basically, just to give you an example, if someone came to our production company with a script and said, okay, we've got a great film for you. We've got, Kate Blanchett and Colin Firth as our lead actors and, Steven Spielberg as a director. Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to do that film. But if you came to us and said, okay, instead of Steven Spielberg, we have Ron Howard, and you change Kate Blanchett to Anne Hathaway, or maybe instead of Colin Firth, you have Leonardo DiCaprio, then we could do it because at least one of the people, like either the writer, the director, or even the cinematographer, has to be a former child actor. And with our production company, we're giving at least 15% of our proceeds from whatever we do back into the Ray of Love Foundation. That's my foundation that I created after what happened, after I suffered the psychological and financial abuse of my parents. We are providing resources for child actors that have been financially abused, psychologically abused, sexually abused in the industry. So our proceeds are going to that. That's the Ray of Love Foundation.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I saw that in the bio too. And it's so funny how the synergy of the interview, because I wanted to talk about being a child star,
yes,
and the pitfalls, but also you didn't have that many because it wasn't until 2014 that you started with the financial situation.
right.
But before that, at the age of 8, you breaking into Tina Turner. And so all of this time, you're not thinking any financial. So your career up until 2014 as a child star was incredible. I mean, the some of the movies. First of all, Touched by an Angel was my joint. That's my joint. But how now? Because I say it like this, I say, if I didn't know what your parents did, I'd be like, man, I got to give your parents mad props for keeping you on the straight and narrow.
Right.
But then, so okay,
it's a difficult sword. It's a difficult sword to see. It's a difficult situation, a hard pill to swallow, if you will, because there were so many positive aspects of them raising me, and there's so much that I've given credit to them over the years for instilling proper values and moral standards into me, and humility and faith in God, and taking me to church and making sure that I led a normal childhood, quote unquote. All the time, ignorance was bliss. I had no idea that they weren't saving a dime from my college at UCLA and Mount St. Mary's and Pierce. I had no idea that they were lying to me, saying that they were saving up funds for me to buy a home one day and for my wedding. None of that happened. My fiance and my mother-in-law, and once I had turned over things from SAG into my name, the little bit of residuals and things like that. That's how I paid. That's my fiance and I, and my mother-in-law. They paid for my wedding. My parents didn't pay a dime. They weren't, and to go even forward, money aside, just forget money for a minute, because at the end of the day, who cares if it's $5 or it's $5 million? That's your mom and daddy. These are people that have changed diapers off of you. They're supposed to love you. If you can't trust anybody, you should be able to trust your mom. If you can't trust your mom, who can you trust? And your dad. And for them to go out and to go a step further, and to forget them not even having remorse about it and feeling like they're owed or due something financially. Forget all the money aside, for them to go out and to defame their own child and my now husband's character, and try to defame our character, outlandish, asinine accusations, and the most hurtful, the most malicious things that someone could say about someone, for someone to spread lies and slanderous notions like that about their own child, is so outlandish. It's heartbreaking. And so recently I found out, sadly, that there's inconsistencies in my birth records. And now a lot of things make sense, because I had uncles in my family that have been asking the matriarchs in my family. These are women that are over 60 years old in our family. They're older, elderly ladies. They have no reason to lie. There's nothing to be gained from that. They're coming up and saying that no one ever saw my mother pregnant with me. No one ever saw her pregnant with me. There are aunties and grand aunties that lived within 5 to 10 minutes of her back when they lived in the DC, Virginia area, when I was growing up, before we had moved to Atlanta, and no one ever saw her pregnant with me. Our family's the type of family, they celebrate every little thing. And we always have baby showers and all of this. I was the first granddaughter for my grandmother on my mother's side of the family. They had all boys. All the boys had baby shower pictures. They went back in the family albums and everybody tried to remember, and no one ever remembered a baby shower happening for me. And
so your mother just came home and
And this is the thing, and there's no pictures of me prior to being 3 months of age. So I went digging around and I went to look up my birth records and everything, and there was a hold on my birth records for a while. I called up the hospital where they claimed, where Phyllis and Kevin, my parents claimed that I was born, Fairfax County Hospital, there, Kaiser Permanente in Fairfax, Virginia. Called them. The hospital has no records in their archives. They did different searches of my social security number, of my birth records, different spellings of my name, everything, and they could not find anything. There's no records of my birth ever occurring there. So, and there's no pictures or video of her ever being pregnant. No one ever saw her pregnant with me. So now I'm having to deal with all of this. I found out all of this while I'm dealing with the racial profiling case and dealing with my case with the courts and with my parents, and then taking my money on top of that. I've been in contact now with the Maryland and Virginia and DC health departments, trying to search for my birth records and find where is my birth mother and father, and where what.
Okay. Wow, we got time. I have another question. Okay, so in your childhood, because you were doing all this thing you were doing, there was no reason for you to question this, because there was before hitting television, was there any like question or like where they did something that may have given you reason, or did you know, like me and my mom, there's no doubt that I was born with her. Like I'm her child, because she looks like she just spit me out.
When I was younger, she physically abused me when I was younger, and to a point.
Television.
Yes, this was right before I had done A Time to Kill, and she physically abused me at one point. And my god sister Candy, she's a famous singer now. Her name's Melissa B. She's a recording artist. But she was living with us at the time. If it hadn't been for her coming in the house and making sure that Phyllis stopped beating me, she was hitting me so hard, and I was trying to run away from her, and I went to the window to jump out the window. I was like, if I'm such a bad child, I just want to die. And it was 4 stories up in the air, 4 stories high in our apartment building into the lake. And I was trying to go out the window, and Candy, that's her nickname, my god sister Candy, Melissa, she came and pulled me in. Melissa Bailey, my god sister. If it hadn't been for her, I could have been dead at 10 years old. This was right during the time that we were filming. We had just come back from a break from doing Time to Kill in Mississippi. We flew back in, and then went back out there again to do more filming with Joel Schumacher and Matthew McConaughey, Samuel Jackson for the movie. But right then when that happened, and I was at the window, and I was about to, my little feet were dangling out the window 4 stories up. She looked at me, and Phyllis looked at me, and she said, "Go ahead, kill yourself. Go ahead, jump. I don't care." And she slammed the door. And right in that moment, I was thinking to myself, that's not something that a mom says to a kid. Like, even if you're mad at your kid and somebody beats their kid or spanks them or goes crazy on them, if your kid's running to the window, you're like, you drag him back in. What are you doing? The kid probably scares you. That's a natural instinct. She didn't care if I jumped. She didn't care.
So
that was a lot to deal with.
So did they become, once the Time to Kill and then the movies and everything, the career started, then the abuse did the abuse continue, or did it stop?
Verbal abuse, not physical. That was the only time of physical abuse, that one instance there. It was more so verbal abuse, constantly telling me that I wasn't attractive, I wasn't pretty unless I had makeup on. You know, if I didn't wear makeup or earrings, I looked like a boy, you know, hurtful things like that. I mean, it wasn't until I had my first boyfriend in college when I was 23 that I realized I was a late bloomer. That I realized that I was beautiful, you know. Mm-hmm. That he told me, you know, you're beautiful. You don't need all that stuff. So it's been a lot of years. I didn't know that they were financially abusing me, because they told me they were saving my money, withdrawing interest, and saving up for my big wedding, my house, and all this. And I'm not silly. I know a lot of people are like, she didn't find out until she was like, 28, 29 years old that all this happened. This girl is just finding this out now. She didn't find this out at 19, 20. Let me tell you, they were very sneaky with what they did. All the residual checks that I received, if they had never given me any residuals, obviously I'm not stupid. That would have raised a red flag. Immediately, alarms would have gone off. Something is going on here. But they would give me residual checks that were baby residual checks and tell me that, and what I mean by baby residual checks, I mean checks that nothing ever surpassed $70, $75. Well, I would get excited if I got a check for $65, $70. I'd be like, oh, wow, look at this. I worked in the LAUSD and Santa Monica, Malibu school districts all through college and after college, doing what I love, teaching the performing arts and visual arts to all of our young people in this beautiful county of Los Angeles. And also working in student jobs on campus, doing work study to pay for school at UCLA, not knowing that I had hundreds of thousands of dollars, billions that my parents had taken from me. Did not know this. I mean, I'm busting my behind working 2 and 3 jobs, enrolled as a full-time student, not knowing that I had enough money to pay for not only myself, but my 3 roommates. Could pay for all 3 girls to go to college.
Because they're leading you to believe that, hey, there's nothing going on. This is what little bit of money we're getting. So, and say you may have done these movies, but you have to work your way through college.
Exactly.
And because our parents tell us.
They all told me that the initial payments were all being put aside and that they didn't want to touch it because if they went in and withdrew money, that it would mess up things and that it was drawing interest in a trust. It was in a trust I couldn't touch until later on, and they wanted to keep that money. So I was like, okay, they want to keep that away from me for my benefit, for my future. My mom, my dad was a civil engineer, environmental specialist. And Phyllis, she had her own, production and management company for years and ran an acting school. She managed all these people, even my godmother, Yolanda King. The late Yolanda King was my godmother, Dr. King's daughter. And she managed my Aunt Yolanda's career even up until her death. So there was no reason for me to have thought that there was anything else going on. But pretty soon as I got older in my early 20s, I started realizing a lot of her celebrity clients that she had. She represented the mom from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, actress Renee Watson-Johnson there. She represented several other talent in the industry. The Calloway brothers, she represented for a while as well. A lot of their clients would leave her and different things like that. And so I realized through other clients of hers, my own godbrother, who is another actor that worked with her, he helped her run her production company, my godbrother Raphael. She stole money from him as well. So it's, it's just a shame, it's disrespectful, what they did. And it's just like the most, it's like being financially and emotionally raped by the people that are supposed to protect you the most, And when I asked them, I confronted them multiple times. My fiance asked them several times, I need to do my taxes. I haven't been able to file my taxes because my dad filed my taxes for years. I asked him several times, can you please relinquish all my financial records to me because I need to do my taxes and everything. They wouldn't give me any information at all. So
now, where does it stand now? Are you okay? You're fighting them now. Do they have any left?
We have a case now against them, which we've won. There's a judgment being placed against them. I have my attorney, Mr. Naveed Soleimani, one of the best attorneys in Los Angeles for these types of financial atrocities, and he is a wonderful attorney. Naveed, thank you. Hello there. Shout out to Naveed Soleimani in Beverly Hills, Century City. He's handling my case as of now. And from there, I, just alone off of the forgery alone that they've done just from, forging checks that have come, initial payments and residuals, forging checks since I've been 18 till now, So on that alone, they could get minimum 3 years in prison. So now you're going after them not just for your money, but you're going for criminal charges as well. Yes, and this is the sad thing is that I have not wanted to do that because I've been begging them to seek counseling with me. I've been saying, let's try to mend our relationship because at the end of the day, this is just money. Let's fix this. We're a family. But when she came up in my face and just looked at me and said, I'm not talking to you about money, waving her finger in my face and told me, I should have aborted your, ASS when I had the chance. And then to ironically find out that she actually is not my birth mother and that there are lies and that I don't know if someone gave me to her, if I'm a relative of hers and she took me in. I don't know if she stole me from somebody. Maybe she stole me from someone, I have no idea. There's a story that she used to tell me when I was younger about how people were cooing and goo-goo gaga-ing over me as a baby and at Garfunkel at this department store in the DC area. And it was kind of like a Nordstrom type of department store. And everybody was going on and on and on about me. And a lady took me in a shopping cart and went out the store when she was paying at the counter and tried to kidnap me. And she always told me that story. Now I look back at it, I wonder, I'm like, is she that lady? Like, did she steal me from someone?
Is she telling a story that could be her actual story? Actually, Melissa Bailey is actually in the chat room right now saying hello to you. We just spoke about
that's my god sister, Candy.
Hey, Melissa, you want to jump in? If you guys want to jump in, we got.
I want to let everyone know my god sister is a phenomenal singer. She is. I mean, if you took the vocals,
come on, Melissa, hit the little camera at the bottom and come on in here, Melissa. Come on, Momo. Somebody.
If you took the voice of Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston and Christina Aguilera and bottled them all up, like that's her voice. I mean, she is.
Okay, so you can't put all of that heat, Melissa. Let me tell you right now, if you don't hit the little button in the corner,
the light that she released recently regarding the deaths of our two wonderful brothers, Philando Castile and Alton Sterling, to pay homage to their lives, she released a beautiful song. She's not charging a dime for it. She's releasing it in honor of their lives. It's called The Light. And
is it on? Isn't it, Melissa? We're not gonna give you no more love until you come up in here right now. So in the little box in the corner, there's a thing that says camera. Hit that and come up in here. So there she go. Hold on. Here comes Melissa. I have to because y'all was about to make me sing, and the last thing y'all want to do is want me to sing because let me tell you right now. And hey Mo, somebody else call in so I can get 4 squares. I can't sing. You don't understand. You don't understand. I'm so old.
You don't need to sing, Cosandra. You are the diva of the red carpet. You walk in a room and your figure and your ambiance and your camera, PR, bling, beauty sings enough.
So wait, you saying I got enough talent? Look, I'm a DJ. I host my own show. I feed the homeless. Hey, Melissa. Did you hit? I see it. Oh, we almost got it. Melissa, there was a little button. I'm sorry, I should explain it. There's a little button where you share your camera. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
There's a little button. Okay, but we can't see you. We can hear you, but we can't see you. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to back out. I want you to back out and come back in. What I need you to do is back all the way out and come back in so that you're going to get a button at the top that's going to say share your screen so we can get your camera and microphone. So come back. We're going to have Melissa. Should I sing? No, I don't think y'all really want me to sing. Y'all want... This is what I'm trying to do. Hold on. I'm not really trying to forget. This is what I'm doing.
We can do this little light of mine. This little light of mine.
I'm going to
let it shine. Whoa, this little light of mine. We can do a little bit of that.
Okay, we can do. Because isn't that the song you sang? Wasn't the song you sang? For.
And what song I'm doing?
So wait, how was that? Now, how was that? Let me get back to my face. You know it. So hold on. I switched to the other one so I can run to the bathroom, but then I started talking to this question, and I'm gonna run to the bathroom and come right back. What was it like? Because Angela Bassett, I can't tell you what I call in private because she told me to stop saying that when she's seeing, I started calling her by a nickname. What was it like to work with Angela Bassett?
Oh my goodness. I love her and Mr. Larry so much. It was a joy actually. They wanted us to kind of pick up off of a vibe. The producers, we had wonderful producers and our wonderful director, Ryan Gibson. was a phenomenal director for that film, British director actually, Ryan, and he actually brought me to set where they were filming at the real home of Ike and Tina Turner that they had in the 70s there in Baldwin Hills. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I came there on the set, and Miss Angela had on her diva bell bottoms, looking fabulous as she always looks. And I was just in awe of her, you know. And to meet her there on set, it was such a blessing. And we met together, and we went on a little tour of the house of the actual Turner estate there in Baldwin Hills. And I got to meet Mr. Larry. And it was a beautiful time. But I remember when we actually filmed the scene, it's supposed to take place in Nutbush, Tennessee, because we all know Nutbush city limits, you know, all that. We actually filmed it in Sacramento, California, actually, way out in a farmland there. And Virginia Capers, the phenomenal Virginia Capers, who is actually very historical for our young people out there, they need to know this. Virginia Capers was only the second Black woman to headline on Broadway in the history of Broadway, Virginia Capers. She was the woman that grabbed my ear in the famous choir scene and twists my ear and takes me out of the church. She was known to many of you as Granny on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. She played Will Smith's grandmother on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. She was she played the mother to our late great Uncle Phil there, James Avery. That's the same. So we filmed there, and it was pouring rain outside. We had to do several takes and fly back and forth from LA to Sacramento, but we got it in. We got our takes, and it was beautiful. It was a lovely experience, and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I met several beautiful people that are still in my life to this day. Our wonderful choreographer was Michael Peters, who choreographed all of Michael Jackson's stuff. And his assistant at the time was the phenomenal Eartha Robinson, my auntie, my adopted auntie Eartha. And she's still in my life to this day. The fabulous Vanessa Bell Calloway is a great family friend of mine who was our Ikeette. You know, remember she told Ike off because he was trying to animate cake.
She turned Tina into a Buddha.
Exactly. Yeah, Buddhism, yes, the whole Renge Kyo chant would go over with her in the film. If it wasn't for her character, you know, there wouldn't have been that wholeness to bring back that spirituality into Turner's life so that she could find God and herself once again. So that was a beautiful role that Vanessa Bell had in that piece too. So.
Yeah, Vanessa, we say we're family, but she married into the Calloways, but we family. So Melissa, for some reason are you there, Melissa?
Here.
Okay, we can't see you, so I'm gonna find a picture, but we can hear you. So I'm gonna accept the hearing you part. Hi, Melissa.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Well, welcome to the Cosandra Calloway Show here on Fire Talk.
She's Melissa B. for millions of fans out there. She's a phenomenal singer, but for me, I'm family, so I call her nickname Candy. So in case you're wondering if when I chime in and I call her Candy, that's her little nickname on the side for us family members. So, but she is known to all her international fans all around the world as Melissa Bailey. So.
Oh, well, Melissa Bailey, welcome to this awesome caliosity we're putting down with your God sister. I understand you can blow, so you know we don't. Even, and here's the deal. This is when you know a sister. Saying you have a new song that you wrote, Sterling and Steele's Passing. Can you blow a little bit for us?
Sure. Here, I'll just sing something like from James Brown.
Okay.
Let's see. This is a man's world. But it would be nothing. See, man, it's from road, yeah, and man be the train. Whoa. Man be the electric line. See it's on the door, yeah. Man
up in here. This is a woman's world up in here.
That's right. Out.
Man, unbelievable. You better sing, you better sing, you better sing, girl. You better sing.
I want everyone to come out and support my beautiful cousin Candy, Melissa B. She will be performing actually with her auntie Dawn, and you all know Dawn Lewis, the phenomenal actress from A Different World, and all her millions of movies that she's done for years. She will be performing. Dawn Lewis and my cousin Candy will be at the Wilshire Ebell Theater on July 23rd. So please come out and support them. They're supporting this wonderful charity that gives back musical education to our young people in the school system.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, you know what time does that take place? Because actually on July 23rd, I am the host for Hamilton High School 40th High School Reunion. They hired me to be the host.
I taught at Hamilton, Cosandra.
You taught at Hamilton? Oh, so you know what you so we got
instructor there. I was a guest instructor there. That's one of my LAUSD schools that I went in. You know, Hamilton is known for the performing arts. I was acting there. I was a guest acting instructor there for many years. Yeah.
Well, that's good because I'm going to call you because I need some questions asked about the school because I want to turn this whole thing out. You know what I'm saying? I got now, ladies, I want to ask you, should I do a red afro or should I do my black afro?
What is the event again?
It's the 40th High School Reunion for Hamilton High School.
I'm going to say go with red because I know Candy and we both love color. So I would say go with some red, you know, put that little crimson glow on there.
I think I need a big red afro to go with my site because I'm telling you, when you hire me as your host for the event, I'm giving you host. I'm giving you I'm gonna give you 1976. Well, I probably do that every show with my old. I said something the other day. I said some rigmarole, and Terry was like, "Where'd you pull that from? Rigmarole? That's somebody old person was saying."
I'm used to that rigmarole.
Darling, that's a classic.
Thank you. Hey, Melissa, why don't you tell us your website information and how we can follow you? And then, hey, Momo, are you ready to try to jump up in here? Hey, Melissa, tell us how we can get in touch with you and get some of your amazing music. But I really wanted you to sing the song that Kelly, that Rae'Ven just said that you did for Sterling and the people who passed away. I mean, we know it's a man's world, but I want to hear that song.
You have to, you know what, honestly, you would have to hear the song because it's you have to go on the site. I'll actually put the link in here in the chat room. You have to hear it because singing it a cappella is not the same.
All right, then hold on a second. I'm going to the link right now because we got technology and I'm going to play the song because we don't hear it because we can't see you, but we're going to hear you. It's Cosandra Calvin.
Make sure you get the link, everybody. Please do come out and support Candy on the 23rd. At Wilshire Ebell. I will be there as well. We'll be there on the red carpet. The phenomenal Dawn Lewis will be there, and several other artists will be performing as well. And our uncle Miguel Nunez, he will be there as well on the red carpet. A phenomenal actor. Putting him in my Project Fly as well. And it's going to be
what's happening. I think me trying to go over to that.
Make sure to follow Melissa B on Twitter and me on Twitter as well, Rae'Ven Kelly. And look for Fly, everyone. Please look for Fly. It's the first Black female-led drama series for 4 Black women to lead a drama series. And we're honored to have the phenomenal Tatiana Ali as leading up our cast. And it also Olivia Washington, Denzel Washington's daughter. You all may remember her as well from Lee Daniels' The Butler. And she's recently just starred in this week the first 4 episodes of Mr. Robot, now on USA Network. So we're pleased to have phenomenal talent like Karen Parsons playing my older sister in the piece, and Ella Joyce playing my mom. We've got a phenomenal cast attached to this piece. So G-Mom, Marla Gibbs, and Cicely Tyson as well to join our cast. The phenomenal Morgan Fairchild. So, and Gary Gray, my childhood best friend, you all remember him. He was Nelson on the Cosby Show. He actually starred he was the little twins on the Cosby Show. He was in Blackbird recently with Isaiah Washington and Monique in theaters. So he will be starring in the project as well. And he's also my producing partner. with Everlasting Entertainment. It's myself, Gary Leroy Gray, and my husband, Sean Dinwiddie, and our partner, Carolyn McDonald. So we're very, very excited about this.
I'm excited because I'm coming. So when are you starting to film again, so I can come down there and be on the set and say hello? And
we will be filming later on this fall, so the coming winter, actually. So
okay, so is it Atlanta or here?
Pardon?
Is it in Los Angeles or Atlanta?
We're gonna be in both areas, actually. So.
All right. Well, I'm gonna be somewhere wherever Morgan Fairchild is, and you guys. I'm just so excited. I think we probably have like 4 minutes left to this show. First of all, before we go any further, I wanna thank you for being the person that you are from the first time I met you on the carpet. I want to thank you for stop calling me Miss Cosandra throughout this interview. I want to commend
that's
you.
Southern stuff, that's that Georgia Southern stuff, bring that in us. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, all this respect stuff. So.
And I know, and that's probably exactly how you were with Officer Havenhurst.
Yes.
And we're going to continue. We'll be with you on July 30th. In the Pasadena courthouse, and you'll put that information up and you'll follow it on my website. You can also find Melissa's information. It's melissab.com also there. Monique, Momo, or Terry, if you want to come in and say anything to Miss Kelly before we leave out. We had I have 2 other hosts that are on the show. Just hit an OK or put your name up in there so you can officially say hello to Miss Rae'Ven Kelly before she gets out of here, spending so much valuable time with us and giving us her first official interview with all of this going on, to find out all the stuff that you found out.
For having me on, I appreciate it, Cosandra, and your beautiful host. Thank you all so much. I honestly believe that we have to start the conversation. Programs like yours are the catalyst for change, and it's so important that we have interviews like this. It's imperative to the process for healing and change for us to have it. So I am so blessed to be here.
Well, I'm blessed to have you here. There's a lot we have to keep up about. I want to find out, what's going on with the 31st. I want to find out, come back and tell us how everything is going with what's going to transpire with your parents, seeing that there has been a judgment, and do they have money to pay you back? Are they in the position to do that? Also, July 23rd at the Wilshire Ebell Theater, Melissa B, along with my girl Dawn Lewis, they're going to be doing an event for children. Let's see. Oh, wait, we might have Miss Momo B. Let's see if we get Momo in here. This is my girl from Florida, originally from Brooklyn, somewhere on the East Coast.
Hello.
Miss Momo Beasley now. Hey, Momo. Oh, it's loading up. Let's let it load up for a second. And also want to thank everybody that's ever helped with the show. This summer, we're doing amazing things. Thank you for letting me. Thank you, Miss Melissa. Hold on, Mo. I think it's loading up. July 23rd, Ebell Theater. July 30th, we're at the Pasadena Courthouse. July 31st, I'm hosting the Christmas and White Party for Roland Worth. If you want to come, you guys, you and your husband, because you look great in white. Just don't wear the dress. Matter of fact, where's the dress? Can I have it for my next red carpet?
Oh my goodness. Everybody was talking about that dress because they had this high slit on it, right?
Right. I'm just wondering. Say it again?
I was modeling for Black Label at the time. Yes, it's a Black Label gown.
Well, okay, so put it like this. You can't wear it again, right? So why don't you let your girl rock it, to the Christmas and White Party? I'll give it back. I'll give it back. I just have to go get some tissue stuffing right around here. Because I don't want the tissue popping out.
Oh,
we pray for you and your family. We pray for your continued success. I know you are just as humble as you are now when you spoke to the police officers. For the officer who started all this mayhem, for him not to come to court or even stand up and be a man, we're going to find him too. And we're going to make sure that they're, justice, not just for you, justice for everybody. Because they keep throwing Trayvon Martin into the subject when they're talking about people killed by police. Trayvon Martin wasn't killed by a police officer. He was killed by an individual who was a fake cop who had the permission, Zimmerman disposability to have a gun. We're losing our young men, women, not just us, but white people are being killed just as much as black people are being killed. But because nobody of Caucasian descent is up in arms saying white lives matter or all lives matter, and trying to negate the Black Lives Matter movement. When I say,
I also do want to bring to the conversation too that we cannot forget about our Latino brothers and sisters as well, and our Asian ones.
Everybody of color.
This same week that we lost our 2 brothers, we also lost 4 Latinos to police violence and racial profiling as well. Just off the top of my head, I dedicated a whole post on my site to the wonderful life of Antonio Nunez, who was actually
I saw that. Mm-hmm.
He was actually killed by San Diego police, a young man. That's a life lost. So yes, Black lives matter, Latino lives matter, Asian lives matter. All lives matter.
All lives matter.
Remember that. However, and our officers' lives matter too. However, we cannot forget the fact of the plight of our minorities in this country, the plight of blacks, the plight of Latinos, the plight of women. We cannot forget about that. There was, for so long, we did not have the right to be people. We were cattle. You cannot forget about that. There is a such thing as white privilege. You have to embrace that. And I'm a person who my husband, he is of Irish, Scottish, and Italian descent himself. And he has taken to Facebook and written several things about people. He said he's calling out his fellow white people, saying, you must recognize that there is a such thing as white privilege and that there is a difference. And it starts with us making the change. We have to love all humankind.
Exactly. And that's the thing. It just so happens that we only make up 24% of the population, but 6% of us are brutalized. Right. Those individuals, because they have on a uniform and because their skin is of olive complexion, and not understanding that there is such thing called privilege based on the color of your skin, and it shouldn't be taking place. Rae'Ven, I say to you, thank you. Come back anytime. What would be your final thought for today and message you would like to get out to my audience?
My final thought for the day, I'm going to quote my godmother. I'm going to quote my godmother, the late Yolanda King. Honor of her life. She passed away too soon at 51 years of age here in Los Angeles, at my Uncle Dexter's house. And her heart would be breaking in a million pieces at what happened, but at what's happening in our world today. And not only what happened to me, I'm one of her babies, but at what's happening to all of our brothers and sisters of color. And her heart would also be breaking for our good police officers, for the innocent police officers that are being shot as well. She would simply say this to you, quote her, "Where are we all going to learn, love each other, and achieve the dream?"
That's powerful words. And say it just in case somebody missed it. Say it one more time, please.
I'm quoting again for you all, my late godmother, Yolanda King, may she rest in peace constantly. She passed away when I was a student at UCLA, actually. She and I did a wonderful play many years ago that was nominated for several awards called Achieving the Dream. And so that's what she's stating in her quote. And her quote is, "When are we all going to start loving each other and achieve the dream?" And of course, that dream is her father's dream. God bless you, and love each other. Let's love each other.
I put on my Facebook page the other day that just doing the right thing when nobody's looking is called integrity.
Amen.
So what are you going to stand for? What are you going to stand up for? What are you going to have integrity for? I wanted to applaud Dwayne Wade and all those guys who stood up at the ESPY Awards and did such an eloquent speech that was written for them that they read off of a monitor. I felt that if they believed this in their hearts, they wouldn't have had to read it off a monitor.
Amen.
Because we speak from our heart, not speak for something that's been written for us, because it's not by us or for us or about us. So you say to the athletes, what are you going to do? I say not only to the athletes, to the rest of the world, to every human being, what are you going to do? We don't need to fight violence with violence.
No.
We need to stand fast in knowing who we are as people of God. And once we put religion and God in our lives and stop thinking that we're above everybody else based on the color of our skin or the uniform we wear, then we will not be a better country. So to be a better country, to be a better human being, all you have to do is just be good. Be nice. Just can't be good. That might be too broad of a statement. Do unto others as you want others to do unto you.
The golden rule.
That's it. So for Sandra Calloway, Momo Beezy, Miss Terry, Miss Rae'Ven Kelly, thank you so very much for coming in. I am going to, so Momo, you guys, thank you. I'm going to play the theme song. And I think I got it right here. And we're going to dance our way up out of here. Thank you, Rae'Ven. Oh,
God bless you. God bless you, Sandra.
God bless you too. Thank you, Rae'Ven. My name is Cosandra Calloway. They call me the hostess with the mostest, and I hope you guys enjoyed this hour and a half that I brought you with Miss Rae'Ven Kelly and more. Check me out on the Calloway Media Network or follow me on Instagram. I am Cosandra Calloway. On Twitter, it is the Calloway Nation. On Facebook is the Cosandra Calloway personality page. I will see you on the radio, the internet, Facebook Live, and that Hamilton High School reunion, and Christmas in July, and much more. And don't forget, July 31st, we will be on the steps of the Pasadena Courthouse to support Miss Rae'Ven, Larry Moore, Kelly, and much more. And Melissa B., Wilshire Ebell Theater. My name is Cosandra Calloway, and I say, hey.